can't be happy at all about what has happened tonight. And on top of his team being down 3-0, they also lost Jorge Rodriguez to an injury in the first half. This is an excessive delay. Atlanta United has now rolled some balls out on the pitch to just have a kick around here as they wait.
Yeah, this is egregious. I'm not quite sure what's going on.
Now, I'm starting to see at least one technical staffer coming out of the tunnel. I mean, maybe Gonzalo's really chewing them out. I mean, he deployed a close to first choice lineup for Atlas tonight.
Well, they've rotated in the tournament.
They have.
And I think, Atlas looks at this tournament as an opportunity to develop for the rest of the season. It's more about the rest of the Apertura than the competition here in Leagues Cup as players are starting to make their way down the tunnel.
The technical staffer who came out handed a substitution card to the fourth official. So it looks like they're going to make a change here at halftime. But, yeah, you have one reserve player very slowly coming out of the tunnel.
Here they come. Gonzalo gets a pass. I'm not worried about it. It's a fun night.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're right. There's absolutely nothing on the line tonight.
I'll give Gonzalo a pass. I just want to echo what you were saying about Gonzalo. We were really lucky. We've been lucky with managers here at Atlanta United in general, but
well, except for one.
Well, we never met him in person because
he didn't want to meet us.
Well, it was also during the end of the COVID era and all of that too.
He made it very clear he didn't want us around. He did not. I'll be happy to share that on the air. He did not want us anywhere near him or the team on the bus or the plane or anything like that. And then they fired him.
Yeah, well, that happens. Gonzalo has been always one of the real gentlemen in this, and it was very sad last summer. I talked about it a lot at the time. His contract was coming up at the end of the year. It just felt like things had run its course, and he's landed in a good spot. I think Atlas is a club that is a really good fit for him. Diego Gonzalez will be checking in for Atlas here in the second half. Atlas is a club that is known for developing young talent. Mateo Garcia also checking in for Atlas. That's something that Gonzalo is great at. And you have to look at some of the young talent that has come through Atlanta United. Luke Brennan is one. Will Riley didn't cross over with Gonzalo during his time here, but Brennan is a key factor in terms of guys who got time under Gonzalo, even if it was just in training, that progressed. And that's a key role. Jay Fortune is one that I always think of when I think of Gonzalo, and they played similar positions. Gonzalo always believed in Jay and gave him opportunities, and Jay Fortune had the first half to a season this year because of that. Atlas is a great fit for Gonzalo. I hope they give him more to work with. They need to upgrade some of the talent at Atlas for Gonzalo to have a better chance to succeed. But he's going to develop the young talent there, no question.
As Atlanta kicks off and moves from right to left here in the second half, the information that we have gotten, because we acquire a lot about Atlas and how Gonzalo is doing, is that the chairman, Jose Riestra, and I believe there's a concrete baron that is in the ownership group with Atlas, that they're aware of the situation that Gonzalo has inherited, and that they will take a patient approach with him.
They're looking long-term, and that's, full commendable to do that, because Liga MX, with 2 seasons a year, not many teams do.
Here's Brennan and Pierre dueling in the near defensive corner for Atlanta. Pierre knocks it out for goal kick. Pineda across all competitions, 5 wins, 10 losses, and 7 draws with Atlas right now in the Apertura. Again, music on the goal kicks tonight. In the Apertura in Liga MX, they're standing on 4 points in 9th place right now early in the season, as Lennon is dragged down by Mateo Garcia, the new entry, and draws a foul in the left channel.
Yeah, not a bad start for Atlas so far in this Apertura season. You want to get them into the playoffs. That would be a big move for Atlas if they can get into the postseason under Gonzalo Pineda this year.
There's a back pass to Hibbert off the free kick. He sends it down the left wing. Lennon in a little bit of a jam. Lunges and sends it back to Hernandez and will clear. That was a good play by Lennon. Now the second ball bounces off Riley to Rocha, who carries it down the right channel for Atlas and plays it into the near attacking corner. And here comes a cross that is headed away by Hernandez nicely into the far defensive corner where Moyamba is there. He shields Aguirre away from the ball, and it is out for an Atlas throw. It's a good cross put in by Djordjevic, who's been a little quiet tonight. Thrown into Garcia now on the left wing. He carries it back into the midfield and passes to Doria in front of center circle. He'll square it off to Ferraris on the right wing, and he'll drop it back to center spot to Pierre, who hands it off to Doria inside center circle, reverses it back to the right to Pierre, flicks it ahead to Ferraris. Now stepping up to press Riley and TRA. That forces the ball back towards the Atlas goal. Pierre walking it forward again, but TRA is minding him as Atlanta United leads 3-0 in the 48th minute. 2 subs left for Atlas, 3 for Atlanta. And now behind center circle, this is Doria. He's going to pitch down the left wing where it's headed away by Sesak, down to Saba, and now it pinballs to Riley at center spot, and he'll carry it straight down the middle. Ahead to TRA in front of center circle. To Saba, and it bounces off the back of his heel just outside the right corner of the 18. And Atlas will try to work it clear as Garcia spins it back into the far corner, and it'll be squared to the goalkeeper, Vargas. That's twice now where there's been a good through ball played up to Saba, and it just hasn't quite come off. But Saba had the golazo to give Atlanta United the 3-0 lead in the 39th minute.
You just love to see Saba building on what we saw Saturday in Orlando, and that was one of the topics in one of my group chats, just about how you continue to build the momentum with him. He struggled this year, and he's such a streaky player. We saw it last year late in the year when he got hot. He was a handful in this league. You want him to get hot right now.
There's Mora along the far touchline. Kicking it back now to the goalkeeper. Vargas is 19 yards off his line. He plays it down the middle to Roca, who senses contact from Riley and goes down and draws a free kick.
Yeah, from an organizational standpoint as well, Muyumba is playing in the Moranchuk role, so in front of Riley and Schleich.
It's a long diagonal that is stabbed into the ground by Djordjevic, and then coming out of the scramble is Schleich, backing it up to Lennon, who goes back further to Hernandez. All in the near defensive corner. Hernandez now turning and making the right play. A back pass to Hibbert, who sends it down the middle. Over hits it, though, for Moyamba, and will roll to Mora. Mora in front of the left halfway line. Will scoot it back now to Doria. Flicks it to Rocha inside of center circles. We cross into the 50th minute. This portion of the match brought to you by your local Ford dealer. Atlas attacking down the right wing now with Ferraris playing it ahead to Sergio Hernandez on the near touchline, and he dribbles it out for a throw, taken quickly by Lennon. Awkward bounce to Hernandez, but he is pushed down aggressively and fouled by Aguirre. And now Aguirre trying to pick Hernandez up. And look at Brooks Lennon coming in and wanting to play the feud now for Aguirre, because that was unnecessary. And we've got Atlanta United standing up for a teammate here, as now Hernandez is going to shove with another Atlas player. The yellow card being brandished now, and things have gotten spicy in the 51st minute. Yellow card Aguirre, yellow card shown to Schleich, but I think that's an accident. Yellow card shown to Hernandez. I think the first Atlanta yellow was intended for Lennon.
I think it was an accident on Aguirre. I mean, the foul's a hard foul, and it's kind of unnecessary. I think he accidentally made glancing contact with Hernandez's head as Hernandez was on the ground, and that's what upset Ronald. And I love to see Brooks Lennon come in and shove the player away and defend his teammate, and not do it recklessly, not come running in, throwing punches and any of that. It's, no, we're not going to have it. We're going to stop. And a guy handled.
And Bartek wearing the captain's armband, too, assuming a leadership role in that.
Yeah, that's another thing about tonight is I really like to see the armband on Bartosz Schleich. That's been something that he, I think, will continue to grow into in his career. Hopefully here in Atlanta, he continues to grow into that. He's a potential leader for any team he's in.
TRA went up for the aerial off the free kick by Hernandez. Was low bridge, but they play on as Garcia at center spot sends it down the middle where it bounces off of Schleich. It is swept back to Rocha now behind center spot for Atlas, who lets it roll to the right and flicks it on the right halfway line to Pierre. Now Doria, they square it off to the left to Mora. All behind the halfway line. Mora will drop it back to Doria again, who back passes to Vargas. Will token pressure here by TRA. Vargas inside the Atlas arc will cut it off to the right To Pierre again. He returns it to Vargas. TRA really going for the ball here as now Doria has it outside the left edge of the Atlas 18. Another back pass to the keeper who starts it up the right side again, but very slowly to Pierre.
Jamal TRA doesn't know how to stay in first gear. It just doesn't exist for him. He's always going to go full out, and it's what we love to see out of him.
Now the 53rd minute, Atlas playing down the far touchline where it's stolen by Schleich and flicked ahead to Moyenba. Squared over to the far touchline, Saba driving, squaring to TRA. Played back through to Saba, right edge of the 18, and he bounces it off Mora at the end line. Mora keeps it in play and clears it. Really good play by Mora. And now a foul is called on Sesak, clutching Aguirre and stopping a counter.
Yeah, had a little bit of an armbar on him, not letting him turn. That's fine from Sesak. That's a foul you don't mind at all.
Atlas from left to right as they play up the right wing to Hernandez. Drop back below center circle to Pierre, who dribbles into the Atlanta half and now fires it ahead to Ferreras on the right wing. Drop back to Hernandez again, who hands it off to Pierre in front of the right halfway line. He'll play it ahead to Ferreras on the near touchline. Here's the through ball for Hernandez. Getting there first, though, is Ronald Hernandez to knock it out for a throw to Atlas.
Good read from Ronald, a player who we've seen play so many different positions during his time here.
Cayman Togashi coming into the technical area for Atlanta. Ferreras will throw it in the near attacking corner and into Aguirre. It's dispossessed by Riley. Lennon then cranks the second ball off him, and it deflects to the penalty spot where it's cleared by Sesak. Now it floats up in the air. Sesak again heads it forward to Moyenba, who spins it up to TRA, but he knocks it down to Garcia, and Moyenba has to trip and foul Garcia in the central channel.
Got a little crazy there as a clearance was blocked and nobody from Atlanta could find it.
I'm laughing because now TRA employing a little bit of the dark arts, sitting down because he notices Togashi coming into the technical area. And I think he senses correctly that he'll be about to be subbed out here in the 54th minute.
Yeah, it took a little bit of a bump and taking his time to get back to his feet.
Well, the problem is Togashi's not ready to come in yet.
Yeah. Well, he's giving him a little more time.
Yeah. All right, so interesting free kick here for Atlas. It's 35 yards out, square to the far post. Atlanta's got a four-man wall positioned by Hibbert, who's in the center of the 6-yard box, and this is floated to the back post, headed across the face of goal weakly by Mora, and Hibbert lets that float to him and makes the easy catch.
You've got two things that you want to get done here, two objectives the rest of the way for Atlanta United. You want to keep the clean sheet no matter who's on the field, and you do want to rotate some players in and reward them with time in this match. If you can get those two things done, keep this clean sheet. That's such an important element.
There's Riley hitting a pass for Brennan that rolls dead and is scooped away by Ferreras. Oh, the Atlas technical area furious because Will Riley has drawn a foul behind the play on Hernandez. That will lead to Atlanta's third sub of this match, and it will be Cayman Togashi coming in. Almost certainly, yes, for TRA.
Yeah,
Atlanta down to two subs.
I didn't expect that call to get made. It happens.
Right
in front of the bench. They were a little fired up.
Well, I think the referee's done a terrific job tonight, got the penalty call correct, and then made the absolutely correct call on Aguirre, who grabbed the ball trying to provoke her to call a foul against Atlanta. She called handball against Gadi Aguirre, and the resulting free kick produced an Atlanta goal. So Katia Itzel-Garcia has done a good job tonight. Off the free kick, Atlanta playing backwards to Hibbert. They have two subs left as it's sent to Mahai. Mahai now is in the game as well. Well, he's been in the game. That's his first touch. He drops it back to Hibbert, who clears it down the far touchline. Brennan backing up on his seat. He's able to flick it now to Sesak, who takes it into the far corner and gives it back to Togashi. Now Moyenba playing it through to Saba at the end line. Off his line, though, to smother it is Vargas, the keeper.
I mentioned that TRA doesn't really know how to stay in first gear. I don't know if first gear exists for Cayman Togashi. He's always all energy, all action. He'll be running around quite a bit up top in terms of pressure. Did a good job of holding that play up and allowing Sesak to keep possession for Atlanta.
Atlanta United leading Atlas 3-0 the 57th minute. Remember, Atlanta eliminated in this competition along with Atlas, but Atlanta United looking for their first ever win in Leagues Cup in what will likely be their final foray in this tournament for at least 2 years. unless something dramatically turns around in the final 10 MLS matches. And it should be noted, Atlanta does have some winnable games coming up at Montreal this weekend. Toronto will be coming in here. DC will be coming in. So it looks very, very bleak, but don't close the book just quite yet, especially if Atlanta United gains some momentum off this performance tonight. Doria in the central channel playing a long diagonal down the right wing for Hernandez. It's headed away by Lennon. Second ball dug away by Riley, who gives it to Ronald Hernandez. Return to Riley now in the near corner, but kicked away from him to Garcia. Then Riley wins it back and slides it ahead to Lennon, making a run down the left wing. Lennon carries it into the Atlas half and will square it to Cayman Togashi in front of center circle. He'll square it off to the right. A hard square ball to Sesak, who pokes it ahead along the far touchline to Saba. Drop back to Schleich in the right channel. About 40 yards from goal, he'll sweep it back to Mihai, who plays it below center circle to Hernandez. Kicked ahead to Lennon now on the left wing. Plays it into the attacking third to Brennan. Slaloms through traffic, then spins it back to Lennon, still on the near touchline. Square it to Schleich in front of center circle. Loops it over to Moyenba. Great ball. Right corner of the 18, Tristan Moyenba. Doesn't go to the overlapping Sesak. Now he does in the far attacking corner. Sesak with a cross that deflects all the way to the penalty spot. Trapped by Togashi. Pop back to Moyenba. Headed into the ground where it is given away by Will Riley to Aguirre. Atlas trying to counter. No advantage develops, I guess. They're going to call a transition foul here on Atlanta. And here comes a yellow for who?
I think it was Lennon. I think Lennon might have had a grab in the transition moment.
Isn't that a second yellow? Well, okay. Here's a long diagonal play down the middle where it's kicked away by Mihai. Out to Brennan on the near side. He'll flick to Togashi, who gives it away to Aguirre. He sends it down the middle to Georgievich. Drop back now to Garcia. Now Atlas playing backwards to Aguirre on the right wing, and he'll send it back further in front of center circle to Rocha.
Brennan and Hernandez had yellows for Atlanta earlier.
Okay, I thought the yellow was inadvertently shown as this is kicked to the end line, and Ronald Hernandez clears it off the end line to Lennon. Played up to Brennan, who centers it to Schleich. He'll pop it clear up to Togashi on the left wing, and Togashi draws a foul on Pierre. I thought in that confrontation down below us, the referee...
No, that was to Hernandez.
Initially, but I thought she showed 3 yellows in the sequence, so perhaps not.
No, she did 2 to Atlas. Aguirre and Georgievich.
Well, there you go. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I thought she intended to show a yellow to Lennon and maybe mistakenly did not. But nonetheless, we're in the hour mark as Mihai plays it down the far touchline and Sesak knocks it off Diego Gonzalez for a throw. This portion of the match brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. The all-electric Mercedes-Benz lineup is here with Atlanta United leading Atlas 3-0. They play back to the goalkeeper, Hibbert, who's working on a 6-save shutout right now. Hernandez comes down the left channel and plays it ahead to Lennon, who cuts it forward now to Brennan. That was a good ball that had to be cleared on an emergency basis out for a throw by Hernandez.
Atlanta United also escaped the first 15 minutes of the second half without conceding.
It doesn't even feel like that was a concern tonight.
It's always a concern this season, unfortunately.
Schleich up to Togashi in the central channel. From 35 yards out, he drops it back to Sesak, who plays it down the far touchline to Saba. Center to Moyenba, right corner of the 18. He carries it into the far attacking corner now, dueling with Gonzalez. And bounces it back up the far touchline to Schleich, who will drive it back to Mihai in the Atlanta half. He'll square it behind center circle to Hernandez, who will turn and flick it down the middle to Schleich. Schleich near center spot, squares it off to the left to Lennon. Lennon flicks it ahead to Brennan at the left halfway line. He'll drop it back along the near touchline to Hernandez. Here's a back pass to Hibbert. Atlanta working it around very well here in the 62nd minute.
Yeah, good organization with the ball, and using the ball is helping keep that organization right now.
Hibbert gives it back to Hernandez in the near defensive corner. He'll pitch clear, under hit for Brennan, but then given away to Togashi by Ferraris. Knocked back to Schleich, who bounces it down the right wing to Saba to 1v1 with Mora. Saba to the right corner of the 18, now dribbles parallel to goal to the arc, and Mora stabs it away. But right back to Saba. Played ahead Riley, who kicks it back to Sabadell on the left side of the 18. Lennon overlaps. That's where he goes. He dribbles into the box, cross to the back post over the head of Togashi. It will go to Ferreras, who pitches clear. 1v1 here. Hernandez and Aguirre. They hand fight. It goes to Aguirre in the central channel. Ronald stabbing at it. They play on as it's kicked ahead on the right wing to Georgievich, and his cutback pass goes to Will Riley. Schleich now dribbling down the middle. Georgievich closes him down. He drops it back to Sesak on the right wing. Sesak stopping on the edge of the defensive third and scooting it back to Mihai, who drives it down the middle to Riley, and he immediately squares it to the near side to Lennon. Lennon then tries to bounce it up to Togashi. It's out, though, for a throw to Atlas.
Let's take a quick break for station identification.
The Atlanta United play here.
WZGC Atlanta, WZGC HD1. Always free on the Odyssey app.
Just wanted to do that once this season.
And you did. Here's a long ball over the top. Played for Aguirre to the end line. He saves it off the end line and kicks it to the corner flag. Now they call a goal kick. So we have music on goal kicks tonight and Jason calling for the legal ID. And Atlanta scoring 3 goals. It's been bizarre tonight here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. How about August 6th, and we've got the roof open and it's comfortable in here?
It's nice. It's very, very nice.
I know some people haven't enjoyed the rain this week, but the temperatures have been really refreshing. We're going to Montreal on Friday, where it's going to be 90 degrees this weekend. Figure that out. Floated down the middle to Togashi, but volleyed away from him nicely by Pierre. He's a nice player. Can't be saved off the touchline, though, by Hernandez. It's out for a throw to Atlanta United, which Lennon will take. Handed the ball by Kenny Miller. He's done a good job organizing this team tonight. Ronnie Deila suspended because of a post-match red card after he wanted to converse with the shambles of the referee on Saturday about that bizarre end-of-match sequence. Hibbert gives it away at the top of the 18, but cleans up his own mess by saving the shot and falling over it at the edge of the 6. Georgievich poached it away at the top of the 18 and shot from there rather than dribble in, and Hibbert made a save diving to his right and covered.
Yeah, not the way you want to add to the save count, but Jaden Hibbert fixes the mistake.
Corner. They say Hibbert held on to the ball for 8 seconds.
Yep, first time we've
and
seen
Hibbert's
that.
going to be booked now for kicking the ball away.
Yep.
So this is the rule that they're enforcing in Leagues Cup, and the goalkeeper holds on to the ball for 8 seconds. It's a corner to the attacking team. That is the correct call.
Yep.
The fans are booing here. It is absolutely the right call. And Atlas will get the free kick really out of nowhere here in the 65th minute as they prepare another sub.
Yeah, I mean, 8 seconds is 8 seconds.
Yeah.
It's not really a judgment, and the referee makes the call. That's what we want to see in the game, speeding things up.
Hernandez to send it out of the far corner, goal to our right to the near post, and it is headed wide and out for goal kick by Pierre.
It changes your mindset as a goalkeeper in moments like that where you have a mistake and you end up having to make a save and you fix it. And in the past, you would see goalkeepers at that point take their time, slow things down, catch their breath. Well, you can't do that anymore with the way that the rules are going, and I'm a fan of that new rule. I think we've seen games be affected too much, too often, by goalkeepers holding the ball. And referees never wanted to give an indirect free kick like was in the rules previously. 6 seconds has always been there, but the penalty was too harsh. A corner is a real penalty, but it's not as dangerous as an indirect free kick from the top of the 6, for example.
Atlas brings on Rivaldo Lozano to replace Ferraris, and now they're down to 1 sub left, and we're about to have a very cool moment for Atlanta United. But first, the goal kick, which they sweep into the far corner. It'll be walked forward by Sesak, who bounces it down the middle to Togashi behind the right halfway line. He's dispossessed from behind, though, by Garcia. Good play. However, Moyen Bud digs it back, but he headed it to an Atlas player. Now it rolls into the central channel to Rocha, but he's 45 yards away. He'll fire it down the left wing to Mora. He will loop this over to the near side where it glances off of Gonzalez to the touchline to Sergio Hernandez. Drop back to Gonzalez. Threads it through towards Aguirre, but stepping in front to intercept Ronald Hernandez. He'll turn and clear. Togashi digging for it, hand fighting with Pierre, and Pierre won that.
Togashi just never stops fighting. He's not the biggest number 9 you're going to find, but he fights so hard up there.
67th minute with Atlanta United leading 3-0. This portion of the match brought to you by AT&T, official wireless partner of Atlanta United. Pierre behind the right halfway line, approached by Brennan. Cuts it back to Doria behind center circle. Now he'll float this down the middle for Gonzalez. He knocks it down to Brooks Lennon, who clears it up to Riley. No, drive it down the middle. That's a good ball for Togashi, who runs it down on the left wing. Underlapping now Brennan. Togashi out of the near corner. Will dribble parallel to goal. Fake the cross, and now drop a cutback pass to Schleich in the central channel. He fires it off to Sesak on the right side. Sesak with a cross. Header, Togashi! Score! The kids are all right. Togashi with his first goal for the first team. He salutes the supporters behind the goal at which he just scored. And Nick Sesak has his first career Atlanta United assist.
I hope Jose Silva and Louis Sharp and Steve Cook, even up in Lexington, Javier Perez, are really enjoying what benefits you're getting from having a strong second team. It's not always about results for a second team in this situation. It's about producing guys who are ready for their moment. Cayman Togashi has had 3 goals and 4 assists for Atlanta United 2 this season in very limited minutes. He gets one for the first team tonight. Nick Sesak gets the assist. Atlanta United 2 is having a really big night in the Leagues Cup.
And how about this, speaking of Atlanta United 2, Sal Mazzaferro, a short-term call-up, will come in and play center back now with Ronald Hernandez coming out in the 69th minute. It's 4-0 Atlanta United.
Mazzaferro is a player who's trained a lot with the first team. Here they come again.
Moyen Buzz. Atlanta looks for more here, although he is dispossessed. And Atlas will counter back the other way from left to right. Riley tried to run down Gonzalez from behind and fouls him.
They'll take the yellow card as well. Mazzaferro's been in training with the first team quite a bit, as has Nick Sesak. Cayman Togashi, a first-team player. He's obviously been back and forth. But Mazzaferro has a real high upside as a left-footed center back. I've watched him this season quite a bit. I love his big personality on the field. He talks a lot. He organizes well. He's got a very good left foot. He's physical. He's a player who projects to somebody who can help you with the first team. And this is a good opportunity, a good reward for all the work that he's put in this season.
Really want to see Jaden and Atlanta United keep the clean sheet here. This is a free kick 35 yards out that'll be sent in from Gonzalez in the central channel. He rolls it down the middle, and Hibbert will come off his line to scoop it up at the near post.
Trying to slip that through to a sneaky runner, but Hibbert was ready for it.
Aguirre was making that run, but Hibbert was alert to it. 4-0 Atlanta United in the 70th minute. Here's Riley giving it away. Aguirre trying to get on the end of it. Emergency tackle to knock it out for a corner by Mihai.
Riley got caught there, maybe still a little bit thinking back to the mistake that led to the yellow card. Mihai's able to clean it up.
Gonzalez will send this out of the near corner goal to our right. Atlas moving quickly, not quitting on this game yet. Good ball to the back post, but it's headed away by Schleich. Out into the midfield where Mora will run it down, and they'll bend it back into the near post. Hibbert makes the catch at the top of the 6. And now we'll roll it on to Bartek Schleich as Atlanta United moves from right to left here at the Benz on the verge of their first ever Leagues Cup win, and this has been a rout. Mazzaferro now, his first touch. From the left side will be a drop-back pass to Hibbert, who gives it back to Mazzaferro. He'll cut it back to Hibbert again. He'll drive that clear to Moyamba. In fact, it bounces hard off of him to Mihai. He'll give it back to Moyamba, who dribbles down the right wing and plays it ahead to Saba. Back to Moyamba. This is all in the Atlanta half, and back further now to Mihai. Now 35 yards from the Atlanta goal. He'll scoop that down the middle of the Moyamba. Gives it back to Mihai. Squared to the left to Mazzaferro. Played over to Lennon on the near touchline. And Lennon tries to thread that through to Riley. It's intercepted. Riley trying to win it back, but it's Pierre who has it. But then his pass for Aguirre is not on target. Mihai wins the ball, passes to Sesak, who flicks to Schleich at the top of the Atlanta 18. He'll clear it up to Saba, who carries it back into the Atlanta 18, and back passes to Hibbert. They'll drive it to Mazzaferro now in the near defensive corner for Atlanta. Here's another back pass to Hibbert. He'll clear as he was under pressure by Georgievich. Down the right wing, and that will bounce out for a throw to Atlas, but 40 yards from goal.
The timing of the short-term call-up for Sal Mazzaferro is actually really interesting because Atlanta United 2 is in Toronto on Friday. That's Sal's hometown. He was going to have a lot of friends and family in the building that night wearing Atlanta United gear. I wonder if he'll still make the trip now.
Here is a pass to the edge of the 18 to Gonzalez. Spin that back in the midfield to Pierre, who flicks ahead to Garcia on the right wing. Overlapping Hernandez, Garcia instead goes centrally to Gonzalez. Drop back to Pierre again, still on the right wing. Togashi approaches. They'll flick to the near touchline Garcia, who will drop it all the way back to Rivaldo Lozano. He'll take it down the middle now. Pass to Aguirre, who is pushed down and fouled. And it will be another free kick for Atlas from about 35 yards out, this time in the central channel.
Mihai was late to that one, but it's a foul far enough out that, you don't love giving up free kicks inside the attacking half, but that's a challenge worth taking.
Yeah, it's a 4-0 game. Atlanta is preparing their final sub now. Have the ability to bring on Cooper Sanchez, and I think that's what they're going to do here.
Nope. That's going to be a debut for Leo Afonso.
Oh, okay. Well, either way. So in the 74th minute, free kick, square to the center of the net for Atlas, maybe a little inside of 35 yards. Gonzalez is to the right of the ball, and he'll take it and drive it to goal and score a golazo. No, it's wide of the net. I'm sorry. It went off the back support in the net, and then it rippled off the back of the net, and I thought he scored. But no, it went wide. Free kick, or goal kick to Atlanta. Lennon down the near touchline in traffic. Bounced that off the hand of Garcia.
Throw instead.
Play on through that, but it's a throw to Atlanta. Atlas also preparing their final sub. So both teams will be out of subs here in the 75th minute. The issue not in doubt at all with Atlanta United leading 4-0, and it's thrown into Hibbert. Right to left, he pitches this down the right wing. Togashi gets under it and flicks that towards Saba. He gets into a collision with Moore at the same time. Ball bounces to Schleich, and now play is stopped for fear of a head injury behind the play to Moore.
Yeah, once the referee saw the player down with hands to head, it looks like there's blood in this one as well.
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
Togashi came back from a long way to try to win that header. Believe that he did, or he caught the player as he tried to. No bad intentions from Cayman Togashi. He's just trying to win that. We're getting another look at it now. Yeah, catches him in the side. Oh, no, it's the leg that came up that is the bigger issue. I think that's what led to the blood, possibly a broken nose. Yeah, they clashed heads a little bit, but it was as Cayman was coming down, his leg went up and caught the Atlas player across the bridge of the nose.
Now, Gonzalo Pineda could make a concussion sub here. He brought Gustavo Deprete into the technical area. Meanwhile, here comes the Leo Alfonso debut for Atlanta United. This will run Atlanta out of subs here in the 76th minute. And I think he's going to come on for Saba. That is indeed the case. So Saba comes out, having scored a golazo in the 39th minute to put Atlanta United up 3-0. And Leo Afonso, who played at UVA and then went to Inter Miami and really couldn't get on the pitch for them this year. And Miami essentially paid Atlanta United to take him. Atlanta gave an international spot to Miami. But Afonso's a player that you're really high on, Jason.
Yeah, he's a player that in limited minutes we've seen with Atlanta United 2 playing Inter Miami 2. He had very limited opportunities with the first team with Miami, which you would expect with the players that they've brought in down in South Florida. So another player that Chris Henderson scouted and drafted and saw, you know what, there's a little bit more to give here. I'm very familiar with him. I've liked what he's done in terms of how he's carried himself at the club last season. And He's available. Bring him in. He's going to improve your depth here. What I like about him is at Virginia in college, he scored a lot of goals playing in more of a forward position. He's been able to translate his game to being dangerous out wide, but still goal dangerous. I think you're seeing more and more as the game kind of goes through ebbs and flows and trends. You want wingers who are not purely crossing guys. You want wingers who can get into the 18 and score and be goal dangerous. Leo Afonso is that.
Well, they're preparing the Del Prete sub, and now they bring Jorge San Martin into the technical area as well. I'm certain that will be ruled a concussion sub.
So Atlanta would be able to make an additional sub as well. I think, the blue sub card was just handed over to Matt Lowry on the bench. So now if Atlanta wants to bring in Cooper Sanchez or Dominic Chonqui, they could do that.
And Chonqui has not played in a long time. He's on a first-team contract. So is Cooper Sanchez, who was signed this week to a first-team contract. It's been a good night, by the way, for MLS. Orlando beat Necaxa 5-1. I'm really surprised with that scoreline. Miami leading Pumas 3-1 in the 85th minute down in Fort Lauderdale. And obviously Atlanta United leading Atlas here 4-0.
Cooper and Dominic just went down to warm up. What a frustrating night for Adrian Mora.
Yeah.
Doesn't start, and it's a fluke accident where he gets caught with a wayward shin, I believe.
So Mora will come off for San Martin. He's a U20 for Atlas, wearing number 218. And Del Prete, who's their number 10, playing for his third different Liga MX team in 2 years. He played for Pumas and Mazatlan, and now he's with Atlas. Played the full 90 in Orlando on Saturday. He will come in as well. And he will come on for Aguirre. So Gotti and Eduardo Aguirre are both out of the game now. Atlas out of subs. And as Jason told you, Atlanta now essentially has two subs. And do they get an additional window as well? Or
I believe so, yeah. You get one sub for Atlanta that you can make here.
Entering the game, number 218.
You got Chonqui and Sanchez. Miguel Almiron was in the team tonight, but I don't think he's in the corner getting loose or anything like that. There'd be absolutely no point in playing him.
Sanchez and Chonqui went back down to warm up after they had sat down after the Masafero sub.
Play resumes in the 80th minute with Atlanta in possession. Mihai pitching down the right wing for Togashi. That's headed away by Gonzalez to the near touchline and then ripped down and fouled on the far touchline is Afonso by Lozano.
Well, it's smart from Afonso. I mean, he's ripped down because he stops in front of the defender, and the defender runs into him. There's nothing really the defender can do. It's a very frustrating one, but it's smart from Afonso to draw that contact and draw the foul.
Off the free kick, Lennon playing a good ball over the top for Togashi, but it's intercepted by Doria, who clears.
It didn't come off, but that's the kind of sequence you get from Brooks Lennon at left back, where he cuts in near midfield on his right foot and can float a ball over the top.
Brennan tracking back, nearly took it away. It bounces, though, off of him for an Atlas throw, but in their own half that's taken by Gonzalez. 81st minute, 4-0 Atlanta United. The sports of the match brought to you by Emory, the official team healthcare provider of Atlanta United. San Martin walking it forward, playing a long diagonal down the right wing. Lennon, a good play to head that back to Jaden Hibbert. We'll let that roll to the end line, and we'll trap it at his boots. 6 saves tonight for Hibbert. Atlas has taken 14 shots, most of them, though, from outside the 18. As Hibbert picks it up and scoops it over to Mazzaferro on the left side. He centers it to Schliench, who gives it back to Mazzaferro. And he'll walk it out of the defensive third for Atlanta and play up the near touchline to Lennon. Back to Mazzaferro. It will kind of back pass to Hibbert at the left corner of the 18. Jaden, only play to make is to dump it out. Good awareness. And he dumps it out for a throw. It's thrown in quickly to the near corner. Digging for it, Mazzaferro against Del Prete, and he comes up with it and turns and clears. But it bounces off of Brennan, unfortunately, to Gonzalez, who puts a very weak shot onto the near post. And Hibbert will let that roll to him, and now we'll pick it up.
I'll reiterate something I talked about with Jaden Hibbert before the season started. We've seen him with Jamaica's youth national teams. He can represent the U.S. and he can represent Canada. he's got options, and the more games that he gets, the more those options look really interesting for those national team programs.
Moyimba on the right wing, giving it away in traffic, trying to dig it back, but it rolls down the middle to Djordjevic, who dribbles into the box and shoots. Diving save, Hibbert out for a corner. Nice job, young man.
Another good save from Jaden Hibbert.
It does give Atlas a corner in the 82nd minute, but again, Atlanta with the cushion of the 4-0 lead.
The progression of Hibbert from his rookie year last year to this year has been remarkable.
Gonzalez sending it out of the far corner, goal to her right, outswinger to the near post, headed up in the air now to the back post. And then there's a bump taken by Alfonso, and the AR is going to call a foul on him as Del Prete went down in front of him outside the 18.
Yeah, Alfonso tried to win that with the left foot, but he caught too much of Del Prete.
Atlas not quitting on the game. Give him credit. And I would never expect a Gonzalo Pineda team to do that. We even saw in some tough years with Atlanta United, his teams never quit on matches. Here is a free kick about 7 yards off the end line in the near corner. Two-man wall, Brennan and Togashi marking Gonzalez, who's standing over the ball. Now here comes a sub into the technical area for Atlanta, but
Cooper Sanchez.
Gonzalez takes the free kick first and swings it to the back post and scores.
Jeez.
Well, there goes the clean sheet. That was a golazo by Gonzalez, and it's 4-1.
What a rocket from Diego Gonzalez, the young Paraguayan on loan from Lazio. What a rocket with the left foot. Nothing Hibbert could do.
Feel bad. You wanted to keep the clean sheet, but on their 8th shot on target in this match, Atlas finally scores.
Yeah, that's one. At this stage of the game, Gonzalez is like, I'm just going to have it from here. Even took a deflection, too, and that's part of it. There's just nothing you can do. I think it's more of a cross to the back post, and the deflection kind of loops it over and in.
What on earth could they be checking?
Not sure.
Can't be offside.
No, it can be offside. It can be screening the goalkeeper with an offside. I didn't see it when I looked at it.
They say kickoff. Feels correct.
Yeah, I think they might just be a little bit slow on some of the checks tonight.
85th minute with Atlanta kicking off and moving from right to left. Lennon along the near touchline, dribbling into the Atlas half and playing it ahead to Brennan now in the near attacking corner. Is his cross to the back post. Over the head of Afonso. Moyimba trying to run it down at the far touchline. Cannot. It rolls out for a throw. Here comes Cooper Sanchez now to replace Bartek Schleich, who did a good job wearing the armband tonight in 85 minutes played for Atlanta.
He's going to pass the armband off to Tristan Muyamba for the rest of the night. And Cooper Sanchez getting his opportunity here with the first team. And it goes back to something we talked about earlier with guys getting an opportunity to play in this building before tonight. 7 of the starters for Atlanta United 2 in that game that ended up having to be finished here, 7 of those starters have played tonight for Atlanta United. It's a wild number from a game back in April that have factored into this, hopefully, win tonight.
Oh, if it's not a win, we got a lot to talk about. This is played up to Togashi or Brennan, coming down the near touchline and into the near corner. Now to the edge of the 18 left side. Brennan to the end line, cross the back post, headed away from Togashi, and Togashi called for the foul, going through the back of the defender, Lozano.
Yeah, I think Togashi headed the defender more than got to the ball.
That was a really good ball, though, by Luke. I mean, that was right there on the plate. It was well defended.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what you want, and it's a good run from Togashi. He's just second to it. Left-footed cross from Brennan to the back post. It didn't get too much of the defender.
Lozano got to the ball first and then the collision.
Yeah. Togashi was just late to it. Good ball from Brennan.
Off the free kick as we cross into the 87th minute. Atlas from left to right trailing 4-1. And a long night for Doria. He's still in the game as he comes up to the left halfway line and gets it ahead to Rocha. Now Gonzalez has passed Moyimba, and they play down the left wing to Djordjevic. He's steered out of there by Mazzaferri. Here's across the back post and a volley attempt in front of Lennon by Gonzalez. That's well defended by Lennon. It's knocked away back to center circle. Gonzalez went down trying to draw a penalty and failed.
Togashi helped win it back.
Sanchez passing to Afonso, driving down the right wing for Atlanta. He'll pull the air brake wisely, 45 yards from goal. They lead 4-1. No need to take an excessive risk. Now Moyamba in front of center circle. Poking it ahead to Riley, who drops it back to Mazzaferro behind the left halfway line. A back pass to Hibbert, who's a good 20 yards off his line in front of the goal to our right. He'll flick that up to Mihai, who gives it to Riley. He cuts it ahead towards Sanchez, but it will bounce off him for a throw on the far touchline.
Another bonus about tonight is Cooper Sanchez getting onto the field with Gonzalo Pineda on the touchline. Gonzalo always had a very high belief in Cooper before many people really knew who he was here at the club from the outside. Gonzalo always had a ton of belief in him, had him in first-team training sessions as a very young player because of that belief. Cooper originally from Seattle. Gonzalo knew his brother who played in the Sounders Academy. Great to see Cooper get the opportunity to be on the field tonight.
Quiet bounce. The ball rolls to Moyamba, plays it up to Sanchez, but he's dispossessed by Garcia. He reverses it to Rocha. He'll pitch over the top, and Mazzaferro is caught here. Coming in behind the play is Gonzalez dribbling into the box. Weak shot, well defended by Mazzaferro, and falling over it is Hibbert at the edge of the 6.
Yeah, it's a long run for Sal, but he fixes the mistake as he got caught too high up the field.
89th minute now. Both teams appear to be a little bit out of gas here, with Atlanta United leading 4-1. Moyamba sends it up to Togashi at center spot.
Togashi is never out of gas.
In fact, he draws a foul. Pierre ripping him down from behind at the right halfway line.
Yeah, Kamen just brings a different energy. He's got an assist with the first team off of that quick throw-in in Cincinnati earlier this year. I mentioned 3 goals and 4 assists with Atlanta United, too. He gets the goal tonight. He's been very productive in game action this season.
Brennan at the halfway line can't spin out of traffic. Garcia with the ball, and then coming in from behind and fouling it is Cooper Sanchez.
I like that Cooper has added that element to his game. He's always been a very technical player. He's got a little bit of edge to him now. I like it.
About to cross into the 90th minute as it's played down the far touchline. Rocha into the attacking third. Tries to roll that through to a teammate, but it'll be shepherded by Mihai back to the goalkeeper, Hibbert.
Yeah, I think it deflected off of Rocha after a good tackle from Will Riley recovering.
Shots 18-9 Atlas. Remember, game state a factor, and most of those shots have been from outside the 18. 10 shots on target for Atlas, 4 for Atlanta. Possession 55-45 Atlas. The expected goals 2.1 for Atlanta, 1.2 for Atlas.
Big chances still 3-0 Atlanta.
90th minute. Atlas slowly moving from left to right. Doria in the left channel. 10 yards behind the halfway line. Will pitch over the top for Gonzalez. Headed away, though, by Mihai. It's bounced up to Togashi by Riley. Drops it back along the far touchline, and Atlanta will reshape again now. Here's a long diagonal by Mihai for Lennon, who's played the distance tonight. On the near touchline, he'll center it to Sanchez. It's popped back to Sanchez by Moyamba. Now Sanchez passes to center spot where Riley flicks it ahead to Moyamba, making a run down the right channel. Tristan playing it ahead to Sesak on the far touchline. Drop back to Riley, who gives it to Sanchez in front of center circle. They're playing only 3 added minutes with Atlanta up 4-1. Moyamba now in front of the right halfway line, scooting it back to Mihai, who squares it to Mazzaferro below center circle. Now here's Sanchez pitching over the top for Lennon. And that checks up at the end line and bounces to Brennan, who is pushed at the left corner of the 18, play on, as it is worked clear by Sergio Hernandez. Into the central channel for Garcia. It squares it off to Doria on the left side. He'll play it up to Rocha coming down the far touchline with 2 minutes to play. He stops 50 yards from goal and centers it to Del Prete. Del Prete with the long diagonal now down the right side. Headed by Lennon perfectly back to Hibbert, who will trap it at the near end line. And Atlanta United running out the clock in what will be their first win in more than 2 months. Their first win ever in Leagues Cup. And now you go back to Saturday, Jason, and you wonder, with the goal difference Atlanta got tonight, if they could have held that lead against Pumas, with the goal difference they got tonight, this could have been a different story in Leagues Cup for Atlanta United.
Tonight could have looked very different, too, if Saturday goes different. So lineup definitely would have looked different.
That's true, and you never know how that would have worked out.
Yeah, you never know. It is what it is, but I think what you wanted to see tonight from this group, with a lot of players getting their first minutes with the first team, you wanted to see a good performance. You wanted to see Atlanta United look like a dangerous team. They've done that tonight.
Absolutely. I think arguably one of their best, if not the best performance of the year. I think you could put that Cincinnati game up there as well. It was well played forward by San Martin to no one in particular. Hibbert will trap that at his boots at the near end line, and we have just seconds to play now with Atlanta United leading 4-1. Mihai with a little bit of a dangerous pass. Sesak pulling up lame as the ball rolls away from him. He's hunched over. You don't want an injury here in garbage time of a meaningless game. It's a long diagonal for Gonzalez at the top of the arc, headed away by Lennon, who's been good today. Bounces out to Brennan. One final attack here for Atlanta as Brennan will stop at center circle. He is clipped down and fouled. And I believe the referee will allow Atlanta to take one more free kick here with just seconds remaining.
Yeah, Sesak turned to try to stretch after that pass from Mihai. I think he just felt it a little bit after playing 90. Stretching out, he's going to be okay. I think it was more of a muscle cramp.
Brooks Lennon off the free kick, dribbles into the attacking third. They blow for full time. Atlanta United closes out the Leagues Cup on a positive note. A 4-goal game to defeat Atlas 4-1.
Really strong performance from Atlanta United. A lot of young players, a lot of players getting debuts and significant minutes playing in this building. And some of the regulars as well, stepping up and playing extremely well tonight. Really good to see this Atlanta United team in their Leagues Cup journey on a positive. Now can you bottle that up and put it on the plane and take it to Quebec?
If you look ahead at the MLS schedule with road matches at Montreal and Colorado coming up, and then the home game against Toronto, you feel like there is a runway here for Atlanta United to maybe get a little bit warm. And I would argue again, really starting back maybe with the, you probably have to go back to the Charlotte match. Good 45 minutes there, good 60 minutes against Chicago, good 75 minutes against Seattle, good 80 minutes against Necaxa, good 85 minutes against Pumas, and tonight a good 90 minutes. So it feels like the performances continue to get incrementally better, but for a change, Atlanta United gets the reward in the form of a win. Now, Atlanta United, again, unfortunately, is eliminated, but they move to the top of the MLS group on 3 points, so they will, at least right now, be placed 11th among the MLS teams, and Atlas dead last among the Liga MX teams, 18th in that cluster. More to come in a moment as Atlanta United defeats Atlas 4-1 on Sports Radio 92.9 The Game.
Guys, by now you've heard me talk about Collars & Co., makers of the dress collar polo. They've already sold over 1 million of these amazing shirts. Well, Collars & Co. just came out with the new Maverick Performance Blazer. This blazer is sharp and wrinkle resistant, so you can travel anywhere with it. Just throw it in your bag and it will remain wrinkle-free. It even comes with security zip pockets, a sunglasses loop, and an optional pocket square. So visit collarsandco.com and use code TIKI for 20% off at collarsandco.com.
At Verizon, lock in a low price on the best 5G in Sacramento and be the best you. Check where your ride is for your trip into the office. Get that almost impossible dinner reservation and save big with Verizon while you do it all. Switch today and pay $50 a month for a single line. That's right, just $50 a month when you bring in your phone on unlimited welcome with autopay plus taxes and fees. Stop by your nearest Verizon store today. $15 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Rankings based on Root Metrics Root Score Report dated 2H 2024. Your results may vary. Additional terms apply.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues like dyes or perfumes. so it's gentle on your skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Heading back to school? Head to DSW first and save up to 25% on select styles from big deal brands. Score major savings on must-have shoes and accessories from Nike, Adidas, Crocs, Reebok, Hey Dude, and Under Armour. You don't want to miss this one. These brands are almost never on sale. Whether you're prepping for the kids' first day back or just for a busier calendar, get up to 25% off A-plus styles for women, men, and kids at your DSW store or DSW.com for a limited time.
You're ready to tackle your big dreams, but at a college without the big price tag. That's Sheridan College, an affordable education with a small-town feel. Enjoy smaller classes, personal attention, and in-state tuition for all, with big tech and trade degrees that are in high demand. And in your free time, explore your new backyard at the foot of the Bighorn Mountains. Do big things. Schedule a visit today at sheridan.edu.
MLS in the ATL.
Back with more of our Atlanta United
on Sports Radio 92.9 The Game.
Well, meaningless in terms of advancement in Leagues Cup, but I think an important amount of momentum, maybe a point proven by Atlanta United tonight. They finally get a win after more than 2 months without one. A 4-1 rout of Atlas tonight. Jamal Tiare from the penalty spot in the 8th minute. Alexei Moranchuk in the 34th minute, chipping the Atlas goalkeeper Camilo Vargas. Then Saba on a direct free kick in the 39th minute. And then Cayman Togashi heading home a beautiful cross by Nick Sesak in the 68th minute. The only regret tonight, no clean sheet because Diego Gonzalez scored a golazo on a direct free kick for Atlas in the 84th minute. The shots were 18-9 Atlas. Shots on target 10-4 Atlas. Possession 55-45 Atlas. The key passes 12-5 Atlas. The expected goals 2.1 to 1.2. Atlanta, a good performance. Now let's see what they do with it. Do you think anything changes in terms of personnel usage going forward based on what we saw tonight?
No, I think we probably will see Brooks Lennon as a left back because I don't know what the other options are with Pedro Amador being out injured. I don't think he'll be ready to go on Saturday, so getting more minutes of that helps. I think you want to have a really interesting conversation about who you start between Luke Brennan and Saba Lobjanidze, and I don't know, because both were very good tonight.
Yeah.
And I think you've learned, too, that if right now Brooks Lennon has to be a left back for you, that you have cover at right back in Nick Sesek. He's shown that he can handle the level if called upon. So you got some things out of this one that will help you, but now that gets lost really quickly if you don't go to Montreal on Saturday and double up on this kind of a performance. Now this has to be a trend, and the performance has to be there on Saturday.
John and Abe coming up with a full-time report next. Atlanta United 4-1 winners over Atlas on Sports Radio 92.9 The Game. They blow for full-time.
You've been listening to our Atlanta United. Catch every minute of the action here.
Today's game was brought to you by The Home Depot. From performance on the field to projects around the house, doers make the difference. The Home Depot. How doers get more done. Mercedes-Benz. The all-electric Mercedes-Benz lineup is here. Emory Healthcare. The official team healthcare provider of Atlanta United. Your local Ford dealer. And AT&T. Official wireless partner of Atlanta United.
The official home for our Atlanta United is Sports Radio 92.9 The Game.
College holds a mythic place in American culture. On the new Campus Files podcast, we uncover the scandals you won't hear on the campus tours. Find Campus Files on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Gain Super Flings are here to take your laundry to the next level.
Talking about Gain Super Flings. Super-sized laundry packs. These things are huge. Super fresh, super clean. Gain Super Flings.
Gain Super Flings laundry packs have 4 times the Oxy cleaning power and 3 times the Febreze freshness versus Gain Original Liquid.
Super fresh, super clean. Gain Super Flings.
Gain Super Flings for next level laundry.
AT&T has a new guarantee because most things in life are not guaranteed, like getting through self-checkout by yourself.
Warning, each item must be placed in the bagging area.
Not guaranteed.
Place item in the bagging area. Place item in the bagging area.
You know what AT&T guarantees? Connectivity you depend on, deals you want, and service you deserve. Or we make it right. Terms and conditions apply. Visit att.com/guarantee for details. AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
Guys, by now you've heard me talk about Collars & Co., makers of the Dress Collar Polo. They've already sold over 1 million of these amazing shirts. Well, Collars & Co. just came out with the new Maverick Performance Blazer. This blazer is sharp and wrinkle resistant, so you can travel anywhere with it. Just throw it in your bag and it will remain wrinkle-free. It even comes with security zip pockets, a sunglasses loop, and an optional pocket square. So visit collarsandco.com and use code TIKI for 20% off at collarsandco.com.
At Verizon, lock in a low price on the best 5G in Sacramento and be the best you. Check where your ride is for your trip into the office. Get that almost impossible dinner reservation and save big with Verizon while you do it all. Switch today and pay $50 a month for a single line. That's right, just $50 a month when you bring in your phone on unlimited welcome with autopay plus taxes and fees. Stop by your nearest Verizon store today. $15 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Rankings based on Root Metrics Root Score Report dated 2H 2024. Your results may vary. Additional terms apply.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know in making the most of your home, DIY doesn't just stand for do it yourself. It also means dream it yourself. And we're here to help protect the dreams you're building. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
That's the sound of James adding long-lasting Gain scent boosters to his laundry this morning. Several hours later, James sniffs the irresistible scent of Gain on his shirt. Gain. Several hours later, James has even caught the attention of his mother-in-law, and she never gives him attention.
Ooh, you smell amazing, James.
Oh, thanks, Mom. I love you too.
I never said that.
Add Gain scent boosters to your laundry. Add joy to your day.
You Must Remember This is the podcast dedicated to stories from the secret and forgotten histories of 20th century Hollywood. Stories of sex, murder, institutional racism, bad men, sad women, fascist gossip columnists, and much more. Our new season is called The Old Man Is Still Alive, and it's about directors like Alfred Hitchcock and John Ford who got started in the silent era, but were still making movies in the psychedelic 60s. Follow and listen to You Must Remember This on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply, stop to opt out.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country. With over 35 years of help